G'day new starters. Well, a couple of weeks ago I realised that we're getting closer to Christmas, and I wanted to start to allow my thoughts to move in that direction, as I indicated in the thought for the week last week. But the reality is that that just left me 2 weeks until Christmas, and I wanted to explore the themes of Christmas, and there are 4 themes of Christmas. They are love, peace, joy, and hope. And with only 2 weeks, I had to choose which of those 2 themes I found most compelling. Well, of course, the first is easiest, as it's a part of almost everything that I speak to, and that is the issue of love. But of the other 3 themes, hope, joy, and peace, which one would I choose? Which one would you choose to focus on? Well, and there's very good reason to illuminate all 3 of them. But for me, the idea of peace actually contains the ideas of hope and joy. And as I came to that conclusion, I thought that would be a great way to lead into Christmas, to speak about love and then to speak about peace. Well, as we came into this week, there's very few of us, I'm sure, that are not aware of the tragedies of this last week leading to Christmas. Of course, there was the ever-present reality of the siege in Martin Place in Sydney, where an individual broke into that cafe and held hostages for 17 hours. And when that first came on, I commented to my wife that man wants to die. And of course, that was the reality of what unfolded. But he took 2 innocent people with him, and there's just this overwhelming incapacity to respond to that. And so we've seen in this last week the area around that cafe being filled up with flowers, as people wanted to demonstrate their heartache in that process, and the connectedness they felt with that, and the tragedy, and there's a sense of helplessness that's being revealed in those flowers. We wish we could do something, but the only thing we can now do is remember you. And it's just this overwhelming sense that this is not right. This is just wrong, and in fact it is. It is the reality of evil. And of course, it was just a couple of days later, and we see this incredible tragedy being played out in Cairns, where a mother kills her 7 children and a niece. And your mind can't get around the reality that that's just not the way the world is meant to be. And of course, underscoring all of that and reflecting this sense of hopelessness and despair that is ever present in our world was this tragedy in Pakistan, where these revolutionaries, the Taliban, break into this school, 6 of them, and just murder children, more than 140 of them. And you're left with this sense of, what can I do? The world is wrong, and there's this desire to curl up and disconnect and perhaps even cut off the media because it's telling us all of these tragedies. And here we come to Christmas. That's the time of peace. And the first thing that came to my mind was that Christmas becomes an escape. We can forget about all of those tragedies and focus on Christmas and put it all aside. And then by so doing, we come to peace. That's not true at all. The grandeur and wonder of Christmas and the peace of Christmas is a compelling truth that stands above these tragedies. And the truth is this: that when Christ entered into the world, he ushered into an age of relationship with God, where in reality we can come to peace with God. We ourselves individually can have peace because we can cease the struggle of trying to work out who we are. In my relationship with God, I know completely and utterly who I am, and I'm valuable and I'm loved. And that is the peace of Christmas, but there's more to the peace of Christmas. The reality is that peace living within us gives us a hope for the future, and it gives us a joy in the present. I am no longer fighting for myself. I know who I am. There's a joy in that. But there is a hope, and the hope is this, that peace being lived out within is marching ever onward within God's people as they impact the world around them with that love. You see, there's a delusion that many Christians and many people of many faiths are under, that somehow my faith is superior and I must assert it upon the world around me. I must control the world around me and make the world around me shaped to my faith. But in the Christian message is the message of peace. And the message works like this. As I live out of the peace within, as I live out of the overwhelming love within, I cannot help but to find opportunities to love, embrace, and value others. And that reality, while it's often lost in the world at large and even within the Christian community, that reality, however, has been marching since the time of Christ towards the day of triumph, where it will be spilled out across the world, and God's people are walking towards that day of peace with hope in their hearts, seeking opportunities to live out peace. So peace is personal, and it's also presence. It is mine to experience in joy, and it is mine to live out in hope. Peace is one of the most powerful themes of Christmas. And as you come into this Christmas week, allow peace to be your ever-present reality. Have a Merry Christmas.